we'd like to welcome you to the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center for a great matchup between your Minnesota State Maverick women's hockey team and the Bulldogs from Minnesota Duluth. Help our women's team protect this house by cheering loud and supporting a women's hockey team. Now let's meet the starting lineups. First for the Bulldogs, in goal number 35, Maddie Rooney. Playing defense, number 29, Maggie Flaherty. At the other defense, number 26, Ashton Bell. Starting at center, number 17, Gabby Hughes. At the left wing, number 19, Anna Klein. And at the right wing, number 14, Sydney Broke. The Bulldogs are coached by head coach Laura Crawwell, assistant coach Laura Bellamy, and Ashley Bricklick, and a volunteer coach Chris Esposito. Minnesota, number 28, 26, starting at center, a sophomore from Andover, Minnesota, number 7, Claire At the left wing, a senior from Rogers, Minnesota, number 4, Emily Anthony. And at the right wing, a freshman from Elk River, Minnesota, number 20, Kelsey King. The Mavericks are coached by head coach John Harrington, associate coach, head coach Jeff Geeson, and assistant coach Sherry Dickerman. Fans, at this time we'd like you to honor the flag and the country in recognition of those who serve and protect it. We ask that everyone please rise, remove all headwear, and turn your attention to the Stars and Stripes, and join us in the playing of our national anthem. It's time to drop the puck, so everybody say it with me. Let's play hockey!
All right, we're live here in Mankato at the Mayo Clinic Health Service Event Center. I'm Paul Allen, doing play-by-play. Joining me tonight, providing analysis, is Johnny Sari. Johnny,
hey.
Big matchup this weekend between the Bulldogs and the Mavericks with some WCHA playoff implications.
Yeah, no, both teams are both coming off impressive wins. The Bulldogs are actually coming off a 4-1 win over the number 5 Ohio State, while the Mavericks got that impressive win against number 1 ranked Wisconsin last Saturday.
Yeah, so this is actually the fourth meeting tonight between the Mavericks and the Bulldogs. They played earlier this year in a couple games up in Duluth back in early October. Duluth winning 3-2 in overtime and then prevailing 4-1 in the second game, and then also at the Minnesota Cup, the Bulldogs prevailing there. Actually, 2-2 tie officially went into 3-on-3 overtime, and UMD won there. So Minnesota State looking to avenge some things here tonight in Mankato. The Mavericks have been close with the Bulldogs, just having to get over the hump, and we're underway. Shot on goal right away by Minnesota Duluth. Get things going there. Coming down to the right side was Ashton Bell. Nice blocker save there by Abby Levy. Bell now with the puck in the corner. Throws it down to the right side where Anna Klein for the Bulldogs is battling with Claire Buderock of the Bulldogs. Finally, the Mavericks take control in their own zone. Up along the far wall, turned back into the Minnesota State zone by the Bulldogs, and finally out into the neutral zone with both teams looking for a line change. So Minnesota Duluth, number 8 in the country, 59-4 overall, 10-7-3. The Mavericks, 11-15-5. 4-13-3 in WCHA. Of course, Minnesota State hosting Wisconsin last weekend, knocking off the number 1 ranked Badgers on Saturday, prevailing 3-1, and UMD no longer number 1 in the country, Johnny. Or Wisconsin, rather, no longer number 1 in the country, I should say.
Calla Frank played a very good game, stopping 35 of the 36 shots that she faced in that matchup. She actually won the WCHA Rookie of the Week after that performance.
Yeah, interesting goaltending matchup. Of course, tonight is Abby Levy for the Mavericks. Calla Frank, as we can assume that John Harrington is do like he's done all year, where there's another blocker save by Abby Levy. Shot on goal taken by Riley Houston, but it's usually been Abby Levy on Friday and Calla Frank on Saturday for Minnesota State with that goaltending matchup. For University of Minnesota Duluth, it's Maddie Rooney, veteran netminder, in goal for the Bulldogs. Rooney's, of course, enjoying an outstanding year for UMD. Recently named second star of the week in the NCAA after that series. You mentioned UMD taking on Ohio State last weekend, and Rooney was really good against the Buckeyes. 40-plus saves in 3 of her last 4 outings. Here comes UMD. Anderson down the right side with a wrist shot. Puts it through the shin pads of Anna Rilgren. Again, Abby Levy with the night save as UMD putting pressure on Minnesota State here right away. Talked about WCHA playoff implications. We're nearing the end of the regular season here, but Wisconsin right now leads the WCHA with 49 points, followed by another save by Levy there as the Bulldogs continue to put pressure. That was Sydney Brott with a shot from the right side. Bulldogs out shooting the Mavericks right now 3-0. Score is 0-0. 17 minutes to go here in the opening period between Minnesota State and Minnesota Duluth. Talking about the WCHA standings right now. If things were to end right now, Minnesota State would finish 6th in the league standings. Mavericks would be on the road against Ohio State, I think, in the first round if the thing stood like this at the end of the year. Still some juggling to go, though, I think, as Minnesota Duluth has closed the gap on Ohio State.
Yeah, those 2 wins last weekend were really important for them to catch up to them.
38 points for Ohio State, 35 for Minnesota Duluth. Ohio State this weekend is going to play against Wisconsin. So be interesting to see what happens between the Buckeyes and the Badgers in Madison. Ulker's up the right side over to Brooke Bryant. Puck taken away by UMD, and now here come the Bulldogs back the other way. And it's Cedarburg doing the job in turning the tide for the Mavericks. Very little offensive zone time for the Mavericks so far. We're still early in this first period between Minnesota State and Minnesota Duluth. Here in Mankato, we do get a whistle. End-to-end action, Johnny. So you worked those games last weekend against Wisconsin for Minnesota State. The Mavericks played the Badgers pretty tough, didn't they?
Yeah, I actually worked Friday's matchup. I know Friday's matchup, we ended up, I think the score was...
yeah, it was 5-1 in favor of Wisconsin. 5-1 and
and then Saturday I did not get to commentate the impressive win.
Yeah, Frank, as you mentioned, was outstanding, but Minnesota State able to capitalize on some real good scoring chances there early in that game and then holding on.
Yeah.
To claim that victory over the number 1 ranked Badgers. So face off to Abby Levy's left right now. Puck squirts into the corner, and coming away with it for Minnesota State is Charlotte Akerbeck. Of course, Akerbeck scored a goal last weekend in that last Saturday in that win over. It's going to be offside. Mavericks with an opportunity there at one point. First real good offensive chance for Minnesota State.
Or by visiting US Hockey Hall of Fame online at ushockeyhall.com.
11 wins this year for Minnesota State, the most in the season since 2013-14. Mavericks won 13 games that year.
Yeah, they have a chance to actually have their most wins in a season since 2013-14, with currently being at 11 and that 13-14 season being at 13. So if they finish out the year strong, they can pass that.
Through the neutral zone now, it's Gabby Hughes, the outstanding sophomore from Lionel Lakes for Minnesota Duluth, leading the way for the Bulldogs there. Hughes, in 27 games played, 17 goals, 26 assists for 43 points. Shot on goal, Minnesota State. Finally, Kelsey King. Speaking of youngsters, of Freshers Milk River, 4 goals, 16 assists for 20 points on the season. Leads Minnesota State in scoring. Mavericks have a nice mix of veterans and underclassmen on this squad, and Kelsey King is a big part of that. Mavericks now on the forecheck. Brooke Bryant back to Cedarburg with a long shot from the blue line, sticked aside by Rooney. Here come the Bulldogs across the blue line. Annie Linzer, another product of Lionel Lakes, Minnesota, for the Bulldogs. In the slot now, it's Linzer. She tries to put a shot on net. Sticked aside by Levy. Another shot on goal. That one taken by Sydney Brutt, sticked aside by Levy behind the net right now for Minnesota State. It's Cedarburg. Along the right wall, the Mavericks can't get it out. Finally, at the blue line, it's Cedarburg taking control of it in the neutral zone, and she throws it all the way down the ice. I think it's going to be an icing call. Yep. It is. So 0-0 the score right now. The Bulldogs out shooting Minnesota State 7-2, 13:15 to go here in the opening period. Johnny, you've seen the movie Miracle, right?
I actually have.
You have not. How? No. What? You're a Minnesota guy. How could you not seen
I know. I've been same reaction every time I say that.
Yeah. Yep. I think you'll be able to see it this weekend if you want to, but it's a pretty big deal. Last week was kind of cool because you had John Harrington, who coaches the Mavericks, and Mark Johnson, who coaches the University of Wisconsin, both in town. Of course, both of those guys were members. Oh, there's a nice move there as Minnesota State tried to get the puck into the offensive zone. That was Britton Fleming, the veteran centerman for Minnesota State. Bulldogs come back the other way.
That's definitely a movie that I've been trying to watch as of late with it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Really well done. Hockey's a sport that's really difficult to do, I think, in movie form. But I think relative to the actual action and the recreation of events, I think they did a great job in that movie. Of course, a lot of people in Minnesota are really hockey fans in the United States are familiar with that story back in 1980 with the underdog Americans beating the Russians.
Yep.
And then a lot of times people forget that they had to win a second game after beating the Russians. They had to play Finland after that big win over Russia, which of course they beat Finland as well to claim that gold medal, but just a great story nonetheless. Back to the point now for UMD. That's Skinner. Shot blocked by Emily Anthony. Skinner along the wall. Finds Britton Schugel. Schugel. They cycle the puck now along the right wall, and that's Ashton Bell, or I should say Riley Houston. Houston now towards the net. Ugh. Well,
I didn't quite see what happened there.
It went off something there. That was Riley Houston, but all the way around behind the net there and threw it back out front. It looked, Johnny, that it might have gone off a skate or something there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It kind of just seemed like it kind of just like, kind of want to see a replay of that.
Well, the referees are going to take a look at it right away. You saw Abby Levy say something to the referee. They're going to look at it as the play goes under review. .8:19 of the opening period. If that does count, it'll give UMD a 1-0 lead. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking at here, but Abby Levy right away mentioned something to the referee, and they came over and they're taking a look at it right now.
Yeah, so far this period, the Mavericks haven't had much opportunities. The Bulldogs kind of just been on attack for most of this period.
Yep.
So far.
Well, the shots prove that.
Yep.
Johnny, 8-2 now, right in favor of UMD.
Yep. It's a little bit different because when they played Wisconsin last Saturday, like they actually started out with a hot start, leading 2-0 in the first period.
So after review, the referees on the ice did determine that was a good goal. Casey Engie and Tyler Olson are your officials today. Aaron Neville and Glendon Seal handling the linesman's duties.
Scoring for the Bulldogs at 8:19 of the first period. Number 28, Riley Houston.
So it is indeed Houston.
Number 11, Brooklyn Schugel. And number 7, Katie Skinner. That's Houston from Schugel and Skinner at 8:19 of the first period.
So Schugel and Skinner with the assist, 1-0 UMD. MSU had just, it's been interesting because MSU just had their first couple shots on goal there before UMD had scored. There's a shot from the point, deflected in front. The shot came from the point. That was Jalen Elms who shot the puck. Appeared to be deflected, and Kylie Hanley might have the one that got the stick on the puck there. Johnny, another deflection. And very quickly, UMD all of a sudden jumps out to a 2-0 lead.
35 seconds later, they got another goal.
Scoring for the Bulldogs at 8:53 of the first period, number 24, Mackenzie Hewitt, with the assist going to number 12, Kylie Hanley. That's Hewitt from Hanley at 8:53 of the first period.
Well, they'll check the scoring on that. They had Hanley with the assist. We'll see. A lot of times that happens so quickly, the official scores don't have a chance to look at the replay. As we get back underway now with UMD, all of a sudden after, there's a nice shot on goal, sticked aside by Rooney. So they said Hewitt with the goal for the Bulldogs, and Hanley with the assist. Hewitt must have been the one standing in Hewitt was standing in front of the net when that shot was taken. So we'll see. So Minnesota State looking to get over the shock of those 2 quick goals by UMD, trailing 2-0 here in the opening period. Another shot from the point. UMD doing a great job. That shot taken by Skinner. Again, looked like it was touched before it got to Abby Lee, but the Bulldogs right now doing a great job of getting bodies in front of Abby Levy. And with a goaltender like Abby Levy, you know, she's been so good during her first 2 years for the Mavericks. That's about the only way you're going to be able to get a puck past her. Minnesota State now into the offensive zone. King over to the left side. Shot taken by Alkers, blockered away by Rooney. Behind the net now, it's UMD coming away with the puck. Gabby Hughes, the outstanding sophomore center for the Bulldogs, now in on the forecheck after bringing the puck into the offensive zone. Coming back the other way for Minnesota State is Brooke Bryant. Bryant into the offensive zone. Of course, Bryant's had a good year for Minnesota State, the sophomore from Linden, California, on this line with Mariah Gardner and Madison Elkers. Mavericks looking for a line change now. There's Cedarburg, did a great job at the blue line. Taking opportunity on that turnover to get a shot on goal, and the Mavericks will have an offensive zone face-off.
Mankato Motor Company, Snell Motors, and S&S Motors.
Into the corner now, it's Taylor Anderson shot the puck around, and all the way out comes UMD. Shot taken. Brooklyn Sugar with a shot on goal. Good save by Levy, and then covered up there. She controls the rebound. On the year, Abby Levy, 5-10-3, 2.74 goals against average, .911 save percentage. Into the offensive zone now for the Mavericks, down low for the Mavericks, in on the forecheck is Iozo. The puck comes back the other way. And taking a puck behind her own net there is Jordan Jackson along the right side. Bulldogs go in on the forecheck now. Behind the Minnesota State net, it's Akervik. Akervik around the back wall, trying to find a friendly face on the forecheck for UMD is Linzer. Shot taken there as the puck comes from behind the net by Kaylee Skinner, turned aside by Levy with a nice save. UMD doing a good job of keeping the Mavericks bottled up in their own zone now, controlling play along the blue line. Hayes with the puck. She's a left-handed shot. She's on the right side. Eventually, the puck is flicked out of play there by Britton Fleming, and there'll be a face-off to Abby Levy's left. .656 left on the clock here in the opening period. 2-0 the score, favoring Minnesota Duluth. Bulldogs own a 10-5 shots on goal advantage. Face-off won by UMD, but the puck squirts out into the neutral zone, back in now to the MSU zone, and coming away with the puck for the Mavericks is Budarak. Budarak across the red line over the blue line, directs the puck toward the net, and Rooney sticks it into the corner. But it's the Mavericks that come away with it, and right there, that's Anthony out there with a shot, and nice glove save by Rooney.
That was a pretty good scoring opportunity right there. Just obviously, that was a nice save by Rooney right there.
Yep, Anthony's had a nice senior season. Of course, the four-year veteran from Rogers, Minnesota, actually in her 5th year here at Minnesota State. 19 points on 6 goals and 13 assists, 31 games played. comes out into the neutral zone now. Before UMD gets control of it, it's going to be an offside call against the Mavericks. Bryant got caught inside the blue line as the puck came back into the offensive zone. So the Mavericks with these two games against Minnesota Duluth, last home games. It'll be senior night tomorrow for the Mavericks as their last home regular season games for Minnesota State, and the MSU will close out the regular season with a couple of WCHA contests at the University of Minnesota on the 21st and 22nd. There's a long shot as the Mavericks look for a line change. That was Wilgren with a shot on goal. Smart play by the sophomore defenseman. Mavericks now going in the forecheck. Behind her own net, there is Maggie Flaherty. Flaherty along the right side for Linzer, and Linzer dumps it in. But she dumped it in before she got over the red line there, Johnny. So it's going to be an icing call. Minnesota State will gladly take that offensive zone face-off.
Yeah, for sure. Now, face-off being in the Bulldog zone.
Specifically on Twitter at MSU Women's Hockey.
Fleming will.
Mavericks are slowly starting to catch up with the Bulldogs on shots on goal too. Now with the Bulldogs at 10 and then the Mavericks now at 8.
Yeah, making a nice little run here now. Yep. Fleming now squaring off against Kaylee Hanley. Bulldogs with the face-off win, and it's Linzer out in the neutral zone, carrying the puck down the right-hand side. Oh, nice play there. Defensively for the Mavericks, Tristan Truax. 2-on-1 for UMD, broken up by the junior defenseman from Shakopee. Jordan Jackson now with at her own blue line. Headmans the puck where it's taken by Fleming. Fleming, the top of the left circle, looking for a line mate, and finally is joined, but a little bit too late, as now UMD controlling the puck in their own zone. Out along the left wall, it's Klein, all the way down behind the Minnesota State net. Anthony along the wall. Hughes grabs it, throws it into the corner. Where it's taken by Akervik. Akervik out of her own zone, tries to find Anthony. She can't handle it, and the puck squirts down past the UMD goal line, where it's taken by Taylor Stewart. Turnover right in front. Shot just goes wide there. Anthony jumped on that turnover and just missed putting a shot on goal. Brote over the MSU blue line. Fans on the shot. Coming back the other way now, it's Anna Wilgren for the Mavericks. She hands off to Budarak. Budarak back for Wilgren. Wilgren behind her own net. Reverses play. Finds Anthony along the left wall. Anthony out along the left side to Budarak. Budarak throws it all the way down behind the UMD net. Good shift for the Mavericks. Get the puck out of their own zone there. Cedarburg battling for the puck along with Alkers. Just misses there. Minnesota State.
A little high right there on that shot.
Bryant with a great shift there with a couple nice offensive chances, Johnny.
Yep, for sure. Right now, it seems like the attack, like in the first half of the period, it was like the Bulldogs, but like now it seems like the Mavericks are starting to.
Yep, had a chance to right the ship there a little bit after the shock worn off of those two goals. Bailey with a shot. Oh, just misses. Puts the puck off the side of the net. Cedarburg into Elkers. Elkers dumps it in. The Mavericks look for a line change. Here come the Bulldogs back the other way. Skinner up to Klein. Klein along the left wall. The puck comes back out the other way. Hughes now across the blue line. Nice move there. A couple of toe drags but the puck's eventually taken away by the Mavericks, and Gardner gets it out. I think there's going to be a call going against the Mavericks. Tripping minor as Hughes had the puck and was taken down on the play. But then that was Gardner along the left wall. It looks like Gabby Hughes will get the gate. 2 minutes for tripping, so Minnesota State gets the first power play tonight. That's going to come at 17:49 of the first period. The game's first power play goes to Minnesota State.
This is a good opportunity for them to make something happen with the remainder of the first period, them being on the power play.
In terms of power play, Minnesota State ranks 27th in the country, 13.8% on the year. Mavericks with 11 power play goals on the year. But here comes UMD right now. That's Kylie Hanley doing the job on the PK for the Bulldogs. Flaherty over on the other side finds Elms, and she fires the puck all the way down the length of the ice, where Minnesota State will have to come back the other way. Not a bad idea when you're trying to kill a penalty to make their team go 200 feet. On the forecheck for UMD right now, that's Riley Houston. Scored the first goal of the game for UMD. Britton Fleming at the red line dumps it in now as we get below the 1 minute mark here in the opening period. 31 seconds to go here in this power play for Minnesota State, and not much happening right now. Cedarburg will try to set things up to try to get a good scoring opportunity for Minnesota State here before the end of the first period. Fleming's pass intercepted there by Anna Klein. Now it's Cedarburg into the UMD zone. Shot back out again. So it looks like, Johnny, we're going to end this opening 20 minutes as the Bulldogs get back to full strength, owning a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, with the Bulldogs currently leading 2-0, it looks like the Mavericks are starting to figure out how they're gonna attack the Bulldogs and hopefully make a comeback with catching up slowly on shots on goal. 9-2 the Bulldogs 11.
Yep. Okay, so let's take a short break here, and we're gonna come right back. We'll talk about some stats. We'll talk about scores around the country, and then we'll have a special guest. Mickey Hughes is going to join us. Gabby Hughes' mother, who is a former Minnesota State volleyball player, is going to join us here between periods. So we'll be right back in a couple minutes. Thanks.
Purchase your Dunkin' Tumbler for 99-cent refills and discounted tickets to Maverick Athletic events. Visit MSUMavericks.com/Dunkin' or grab one at the Maverick Athletic office.
All right, joined now a special guest, as I mentioned, Mickey Hughes. I want to call you Mickey Korba because that is your maiden name, but Mickey Hughes, who is Gabby Hughes' mom. You probably get that a lot now, right?
Gabby. I don't have my own identity. Yeah. I'm Gabby Hughes' mom.
Okay, so we're interested in having Mickey on because she's a graduate of Minnesota State, who two sons go to school at MSU, and her husband, Terry Hughes, also played hockey at Minnesota State. So although you're a Bulldog family now, you still have deep roots in Maverick country, right?
Absolutely, even deeper than that. My brother graduated from Minnesota State, my parents both graduated from Minnesota State, and my brother and I were both born here.
Perfect. You're born in Mankato. I guess I forgot about that. I should know that. But you played volleyball for Minnesota State, had a great career. I think it was Marge Burkett your coach when,
yes, she was.
When you played, and we had some good teams back then. What the years you played, Mickey, it was just like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
What years did you play?
I was 86 to 91. I had one redshirt year to an injury.
Yeah, 86. And those were good times. You had some good teams back then. And
yes, we actually went. I think we were 14th in the nation for the first time in school history. Best finish ever.
At one point.
Yep.
And of course, things were a little bit different then. Not that good or bad, but just different. We were in the North Central Conference at that point.
Yep.
Of course, schools that you went up against: North Dakota State, yep. South Dakota State, Nebraska, Omaha, Northern Colorado. Yep. That was a really great time and a really great league.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, you talk about being ranked 14th in the country. Any special memories about your time when you were playing with Marge? And how about some of the players you played with during that time?
Karen Tollison Oberle, married John Oberle, baseball player.
Of course, yeah. Yep. And of course, we love the Oberles, and I think isn't their daughter? Didn't she play softball at UMD?
She plays softball. She's a senior.
She's a senior at UMD.
Yeah,
yep.
So we're both transplants to Duluth.
Yeah, and the great thing about John Oberle, he's really humble.
Yes,
he's a humble guy. He's a humble guy. Jane Menshuber. Did you play with Menshuber?
She was a senior when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
Loved Jane. She was great.
Yeah, and of course you met your husband Terry during that time, and Terry was a hockey player.
Yes, he was. It was a very fun time.
Yeah, yeah. So your boys ended up going to school at MSU, and you have to be really proud how things are going right now, how the university looks, and the success we're having in athletics.
Absolutely. It's great to come back down here and see how it's changed every time we come down. When we came down with the boys and did their visits and got them acclimated, every time we came down, it was just bigger and better. And we always get the alumni information as well, the newsletters and everything. So it's really exciting to see how the university has grown and just keeps getting better and better.
Yep. So tell us about what you're doing now, Terry, other than following Gabby around. And Gabby's having a great career up at Minnesota Duluth, and even though she's now playing for the Bulldogs, obviously we're proud of her success and wish her all the best. And she's having a great game here, obviously, and she's in a penalty box right now.
Just like her dad.
Just like her dad, yeah. Terry's interesting. Terry played both defense and forward for us, and actually led us in scoring one year, but he's a little rough and tumble.
Very much so, very much so, and he's very proud of that.
Yeah, I talked to Terry earlier, and he's obviously proud of the kids, and excited to watch Gabby play here.
Very much so.
But you guys are both busy. Tell us about what you guys are doing now as parents, other than following Gabby around.
So we follow Gabby around. Of course, we're both working full time. Terry also has a side gig that he's had for about 15 years now. That's a hockey program. After watching our kids and supporting them for all the years, I finally get to give back to volleyball. I started refereeing high school volleyball last fall, so I'm really enjoying that, getting back into that sport, because that's really been hockey the last 15, 20 years. So.
Well, good for you. And refereeing is a little bit different. I know a lot of athletes, when they go through that stuff, a lot of them don't even know the rules, the right rules, and so that's probably been a little bit of a learning process for you as well,
really,
right?
The game changed so much since I played. There's rally scoring now. There wasn't when I played. Yep. There's the libero that didn't exist when I played. So a lot of different rules to learn, but more, like you said, what the refs went through. I mean, I played. I didn't pay attention to what the refs did, just whether they made a good call or not. So just learning that and learning the process, it's really been a lot of fun.
Well, Mickey, thanks for joining me in between periods. You look great. I'm glad you guys are doing so well. Terry looks great, too. I saw him. Terry looks like he
looks wonderful.
He spends more time on the ice now probably when he was going to college. We hope the Mavericks win, but we wish Gabby and the Bulldogs all the best.
Thank you so much,
all right.
Paul.
Thanks very much, Mickey. Okay, we'll be right back with some scores and stats, and we'll break down that first period when Johnny comes back right after this. All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Good job.
Thank you.
right, second period's underway here now. Minnesota State and Minnesota Duluth about to start the second period. Face-off's down, and the puck goes deep into UMD territory right off the shoot. Mavericks looking to find a way to claw their way back from this 2-0 deficit against the 8th-ranked Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Mavericks towards the end of the first period were gaining momentum, so hopefully that carries over for the start of this period.
Truax dumps it in and goes behind the net where Matty Rooney flicks it up the left side eventually for Minnesota Duluth. It's Anna Klein. But the Mavericks doing a great job of dislodging the puck from the Bulldogs, and along the far wall there for Minnesota State is Brooke Bryant. Bryant again, able to get the puck now into the slot area, but disrupted by Linzer. Puck goes into the corner. No call on that play. All the way down into the corner right now where it's Ulkers. Ulkers tried to find a player in front, but the puck bounces over to the far wall. Now into the neutral zone for Minnesota Duluth. It's Mackenzie Hewitt. Behind her own net for Minnesota State, it's Wilgren. Along the wall here. Over to Bryant. Bryant can't get it out. Puck kept in there by Liz Norton. Sophomore for Orono. Riley Houston in the corner. Eventually, behind her own net, it's Gardner. All the way around the other side. The Mavericks try to get it out, but can't. Norton with shot towards the net. Levy covers it up. We're going to have a face-off here in the defensive zone for Minnesota State. Face-off won by the Bulldogs, back to the point where it's Norton. Puck corralled along the far wall there by Akervik. Akervik can't get it out. Now in the slot area, again, Minnesota State does a great job of jamming up the play, and here comes Fleming back the other way for Minnesota State. Over to Bobick. Bobick can't find a way to get the puck on the net. She does control the puck, however, back to the point. Shot just deflected in front into the corner now. Minnesota State did a great job, and there's a shot ripped from the corner. Jordan Jackson with a shot on goal, and Rooney forced to make a stop to keep this a 2-0 UMD Bulldog lead. Behind the UMD Bulldog now, Bulldog net is Ashton Bell. Finds her defense partner on the other side, that's Flaherty. Flaherty gets it all the way out. That should be icing, waved off. Apparently someone touched the neutral zone there, Johnny. I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see that either. I thought that was for sure going to be icing.
Play right in front of the net, disrupted by Kelsey King. Shot from the point, goes off a stick now into the corner, where Hughes finds it for the Bulldogs. Hughes, puck comes back to her. She tries to find a partner on the far side, kept in there by UMD's number 26, Ashton Bell, all the way around the corner, back to Hughes. Hughes towards the net. I'm not sure if Levy got a piece of that or not. In any event, the puck goes along to the far wall now. Back to the point for UMD. Bell keeps it in direction toward the net. Mavericks able to get it out as Truax throws it out into the neutral zone. Bell for UMD. Cedarburg. Or for Minnesota State, that was Anthony all the way down there. Here comes Hewitt over to Hanley in the corner. Good job by the MSU defense to keep the puck on the perimeter. And eventually it's Wilgren, sophomore defenseman. Over here on the right side finds Bryant. Bryant down on the right side. Behind her own net now for UMD is Skinner. Skinner along the wall. She throws it out in the neutral zone where Wilgren reverses play, comes back into the neutral, fires a shot towards net. Rooney sticks it out of play. So the face-off to Rooney's right goes back to the point. Shot taken there by Akovic is blocked and goes on over here on the right wall. Corralled by Minnesota State's number 21, Jordan Jackson. All the way around now. The puck comes back behind the net. Eventually it's UMD who gains control and coming out of her own zone was Sydney Brott. Shot taken by Betanol, turned aside by Abby Levy. Betanol with the puck now. A couple of Mavericks down there. Eventually coming away with it, it's McMahon. Back to the point. Norton throws the puck along the wall, goes all the way down behind the Minnesota State net. Akovic chips it along the wall. And it's England. On the forecheck now, it's Rooney with the puck behind her own net. She throws it along this side. Over to Stewart. Broken up. Anthony and Budarak on the forecheck. Eventually for the Bulldogs, it's Norton. Norton again with the puck. Norton looking for Taylor Anderson on the far side. Finds her. Anderson now. Minnesota State right in front of the net now in the slider. He scores! Great backhand shot by Kelsey King. Turnover on the far wall led to that goal there. Johnny, it was Kelsey King who finished it off. Minnesota State finds a way to get back in as Kelsey King tallies the goal for Minnesota State. Her 5th goal of the year, coming at 7:38 of the second period, puts the Mavericks within 1.
Mavericks at 5:38 of the second period with their 5th of the season, number 20, Kelsey King.
Yeah, Kelsey King has overall had a very good freshman year for sure.
That's King from Anthony.
Looking at her stats with now her 5th goal and 16 assists.
And it was Anthony with a great job forcing that turnover on the far side, finding her in the slot.
Yep.
As you mentioned, Minnesota State has really not necessarily taken control of the game, but rebounded nicely after falling behind 2-0. As Truax with a nice move in the neutral zone. Mavericks maintaining control. Throw it down deep now.
I mean, not only were they trailing 2-0, but the Bulldogs at one point were leading shots on goal 8-2, and now the Mavericks have caught up, and now it's tied both teams at 13 shots on goal.
Yep. Here's Bobick. The diminutive forward from Regina, Saskatchewan. Doing a great job bringing the puck in, forcing the puck in front of the net. I think Rooney got a stick on that, and eventually the Bulldogs get it out, but Minnesota State throws it right back in. Mavericks emboldened now by that goal. Bobick in the corner. Tries to find Fleming, but the puck goes instead to the Bulldogs, the 2-on-2. For UMD coming down back the other way. Broken up by Wilgren. She's so good, Johnny, but Wilgren's had an excellent sophomore year. Of course, named to the All-WCHA rookie team a year ago. Just getting better and better every time out.
Yeah, no, Anna Wilgren definitely has been very impressive this season. I'm trying to remember what series it was. I think it was Bemidji State. I think she had 5 points in that series, and like with the Friday night game, I actually recall she had 3 assists that game alone.
Yep. Shot there goes off of Levy's glove. A slapper by Linzer from the side goes out of play, and we'll have a face-off to Abby Levy's left now.
The company of Paul is JB Real Estate Group.
Akovic, another youngster for Minnesota State, enjoying an excellent freshman year. He's a defenseman from Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Oh, that series I was talking about, it was actually against Lindenwood, not Bemidji State.
Lindenwood, yeah.
Yeah, Lindenwood.
Yep. Shot on goal there for Linzer, patted away by Levy. Behind her own net, it's Akervik along the wall. She can't find Anthony. The Bulldogs now. Here comes UMD into the slot. Shot taken there by Flaherty. Couldn't find its mark as the Mavericks look for a line change now as the puck rolls all the way back down behind the UMD net. And there'll be an icing call here right now as Elms unable to connect with Schugel. So we're almost midway through the second period. Minnesota State has pulled within one. 2-1 the score with Minnesota Duluth leading the Mavericks. Shots are 13-13. But the Mavericks doing a great job of getting back into this game. Face-off won by the Mavericks, and Truax puts one on net. Rooney can't control the rebound. Play in front of the net there. Scrambling around, and Truax eventually takes control of it, throws it behind the net. Here's Taylor Anderson on the right side as the Bulldogs come back on a 2-on-2. Anderson into the corner. Finds Schugel. Schugel's from New Ulm, by the way, and if my memory serves me correct, Jeff Schugel, a former Minnesota State baseball player, also from New Ulm. That's a big baseball name in New Ulm. But Brooklyn Schugel is a senior, 5'7" New Ulm native for UMD. For the Bulldogs right now, it's Hughes along the right side for Anna Klein. Nice move back in front, looking for Hughes, can't find her. Shot taken from the side by Liz Norton, goes into the corner. Skinner down there for UMD. Cindy Brott right now on the right side, controlling play for the Bulldogs. Squares off against Buderak, who dislodges the puck, and now Minnesota State comes out of its own zone. Out in the neutral zone, it's King, Minnesota State's goal scorer, can't control it. Condis disrupts play for Minnesota State. Condis, the junior from Calgary, Alberta. Here comes the Bulldogs back through the neutral zone right now into the corner. Ashton Bell, the 5'9" junior from Deloraine, Manitoba. Right in the slot area, shot put on there on goal by Hanley, turned aside by Levy with a nice right pad save. Here's Hanley again. Fires a shot, scores from far out. Wow. Well, I'm pretty sure that was Hanley all by herself. I don't think anyone touched that puck. I'm not sure if Levy was screened on it. It beat her right above the right pad. That's a spot where goal scorers will shoot now. Right below the stick glove, in between the stick glove and the pad, as goaltenders playing that butterfly style are a little bit vulnerable there. 10:49 as Hanley gets it all by herself. Not Levy got fooled on that one a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed like the reaction was just like a second too late, but.
Yep, 3-1 the score now in favor of UMD. 9:03 left here in the second period.
Nice interception right there.
Yep.
By
It was Brooke Bryant intercepting that puck and keeping the puck in the zone there. Minnesota State trying to generate some offense, rebounding from this goal right now. Shot on goal taken by Riley Houston. Gobbled up by Abby Levy. She controls the rebound, but it will be a defensive zone face-off now. Both teams changing lines. Minnesota State trailing in this all-time series versus UMD. Maverick with 7 wins in this series. UMD was 69. 8 ties between the two schools. Last time Minnesota State beat UMD was back in November of 2017 It's an 11-game unbeaten streak. Minnesota State's been close on several occasions. We mentioned this year the Mavericks lost twice to UMD in overtime. So the Mavericks on the verge of breaking this winning streak against them by UMD.
2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, breadsticks, salads, marble cookie, specialty chicken on mix sandwich.
Penalty for Minnesota Duluth is on Flaherty.
Hopefully the Mavericks can generate something right here.
Second power play of the game for Minnesota State.
Yep, the first one they didn't generate much, so hopefully this one can be a little bit different.
Oh, deflection just missed there in front of the net. That's Buderak in front of the net, trying to get a stick on a shot from Wilgren. Here's Wilgren again. Bounces off a body in front of the net. Goes behind the net now where Minnesota State controls. The Mavericks getting set up on this power play right now. Here's Wilgren at the blue line. Over on the far side for Truax. Truax down in the corner, back to Wilgren. Shot blocked away by Rooney, and the Bulldogs throw it all the way down the length of the ice where Levy plays it behind her own net. Wilgren over to Truax. Truax finds Buderak on the far side. Buderak now throws it in front of shot on goal, taken by Anthony, turned aside by Rooney. Nice save by Rooney, keeps this a 3-1 game, Johnny. Pretty good chance right there.
Yeah, no, Anthony had the net right there, and it just a good save overall.
Yep. Here's Wilgren. Wilgren, sophomore defenseman down in the corner. Finds Brooke Bryant behind the net. Bryant now settling things down in the corner. Over to Fleming. Back to Bryant, back to Fleming. Fleming behind the net. She curls in front in the slot area now. A dangerous spot. Can't find an opening. Condis. Over to Cedarburg. Shot on goal. Left pad save by Rooney. In the corner now, it's Bryant. Over to Fleming. Fleming. Back to Cedarburg. Behind the net, it's Bryant. Fleming. Fleming in the corner. Controlling play from the left side. Behind the net to Bryant. Bryant looking in front for Elkers. Can't get a stick on it, and the Bulldogs throw it off the wall, but the Mavericks keep it in. Great job there by Condis to keep it in. Power play ends, but Minnesota State maintaining control in the offensive zone. Fleming back to the point. Cedarburg with a shot saved by Rooney. Mavericks still exerting pressure. Great offensive thrust by the Mavericks here. Shot from the side by Alkers, finally gloved by Rooney, and play comes to an end. Pretty good power play there for Minnesota State, Johnny.
Yeah, they definitely had quite a few scoring opportunities right there. Just obviously Rooney's been playing a very excellent game so far, so not a huge surprise that she was able to stop a couple of those.
So offensive zone face-off now. Buderak wins the face-off over to Anthony. Anthony back to the point. Jackson throws it back down along the wall where it goes behind the net, where it's picked up by King. King curls into the slot area, puts it towards the net. Anthony tries to get a shot on net, but is sticked away by a Bulldog defender. King down low behind the net where it's taken by the Bulldogs. Gabby Hughes finds Limey and Annie Klein along the blue line now. Sydney Brott with a shot. Boy, it's amazing how quickly this first line for UMD can generate offense.
Yep, for sure. They just...
Buderak, speaking of generating offense, looking in the middle for Anthony. Anthony now controlling play behind the net. Loses the control of the puck where eventually Gabby Hughes takes it. That's going to be an icing call against UMD. All the way back down here. The Mavericks out shooting the Bulldogs now, Johnny. 20-17. That power play, Minnesota State probably had 3 or 4 really good chances, shots on goal.
Yeah, leading 20-17. Just haven't yet been able to get, obviously only 1 through, but Rooney having 19 saves this far has played very excellent for sure.
Offensive zone face-off, won by Minnesota State's Brooke Bryant. The Mavericks can't keep it in. Truax gets across the blue line and throws it down deep. Lizzie Norton Looking for Ashton Bell, can't find her for the Bulldogs, and it's Minnesota State's Brooke Bryant. Now behind the net. Bryant. Man. Was that Maria Gardner in front of the net? Just missed clicking with Maria Gardner there, who was standing right in front of the UMD goal. Gardner on the forecheck. Here's Hughes, the sophomore forward for UMD, just dumps it in, and behind the Maverick net now it's Mackenzie Cedarberg, the senior captain from Andover, along the right side where she finds Elkers. Elkers throws it all the way in as the Mavericks get fresh legs out there. Condis. She played at the Edge School in Calgary before coming to Minnesota State. Here's Wilgren. Wilgren can't control it. Coming back the other way is Linzer. Looks like they're going to get Wilgren on that one, Johnny. So Mavericks will be shorthanded for the first time.
Yeah, looks like the Bulldogs are going to be on their first power play of the game.
Yep. Wilgren back checking after losing that puck in the neutral zone, gets tagged with a slashing minor. Minnesota State will be shorthanded here. That call on Wilgren coming at 15:59 here of the second period. Minnesota State trailing UMD 3-1. The Mavericks out shooting the Bulldogs 20-16.
Yeah, since that 8-2 mark that I was talking about before, the Mavericks have outshot them 18-8.
A minor penalty has been set to the Mavericks, number 5, Anna Wilgren. 2 minutes for slashing. That's Wilgren for slashing at 15:59.
After that face-off, UMD took control in their neutral zone, threw it in, and Mavericks threw it back out. And only now are the Bulldogs able to get it back in. Hughes throws it along all the way behind the net. It goes all the way back to the point on the far side where Maggie Flaherty has it over to Hughes. Hughes now, she can shoot the puck. Goes off a stick and out of play. For her career, Hughes, 36 goals, 44 assists for 80 points in 60 games played. And this line for UMD, Anna Klein, Gabby Hughes, and Sydney Brott, between the three of them, 96 points, almost 100 points between those three forwards for UMD. Face-off controlled by UMD here. Buck 19 left on the power play for Minnesota Duluth, but the Mavericks get control of it, and behind the net it's Truax, and he throws it all the way the length of the ice. The Bulldogs are going to have to go 200 feet here if they want to get another chance here on this power play. Coming out of their own zone now for UMD is Elms. Elms in the slot area, shot on goal. Nice save by Levy on that one. Rebound goes behind the net. Goes Akervik to through it the length of the ice now. The Mavericks trying to kill off this UMD power play. Along the wall here for the Bulldogs is Hanley. Goes behind the net. 29 seconds to go in that power play for UMD. Shot taken right there by UMD. Goes off a skate. Back to the point now for Flaherty. Flaherty eventually takes a shot but goes wide. Mavericks can't get it out. Here's Bell. Over to Hughes. Hughes back to Bell. Bell with the shot. Goes wide on this side. It's going to go off a wall and all the way out the length of the ice, and the Mavericks do a great job of killing off that penalty. Buck 56 left in the second period. UMD deep in their own zone. Right now on the far wall, it's Broat. Broat. Eventually Hughes fights. Oh, nice give and go there.
Wasn't quite able to handle that pass right there.
Shot taken from the side by Elms, goes wide. Icing the call against the Mavericks. John Harrington and his staff got Britton Fleming out there right now to take this face off for the Mavericks. Hanley out there for UMD. Mavericks win it. UMD controls it. Levy puts it behind her own net into the corner now, where Wilgren, who was done serving her penalty, comes out and controls the puck along the far wall, gets it over to her defense partner, Cedarburg. Over on this side where Iozo throws it out, doesn't go the length of the ice, so Minnesota State will go to work on the forecheck. UMD behind their own zone. That's Iozo on the near wall, battling for the puck. Eventually, it's Linzer for UMD. But Cedarburg does a great job controlling the puck. The senior defenseman for Minnesota State behind her own net. Reverses play, comes back this way, finds Elkers. Elkers on the near wall, gets it out into the neutral zone where it's intercepted by Taylor Anderson. Anderson brings the puck in, but it's offside. 32 seconds left here in the first period. Minnesota State in the second period, 32 seconds left here in the second period. Minnesota State trailing the 8th-ranked Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs 3-1. But a good second period here by the Mavericks, who trailed 2-0 after the first 20 minutes of action. In the slot area right now, got to be careful. Norton with the shot initially, eventually the puck trickled into Abby Levy and she covered it up. There's a shot on goal there for the Bulldogs. Dangerous situation there for Minnesota State. Norton was able to walk in, the sophomore defenseman from Orono. Had a nice chance there right between the hash marks. Taylor Anderson back to the point now. Ashton Bell with the shot. Doesn't get through, and it's Minnesota State coming away with it as King comes up the right side. 6 seconds to go. So that's going to do it for the end of the second period. Minnesota State does get one goal, but so does Minnesota Duluth in that middle frame. So the score now, after 40 minutes of action, is 3-1 in favor of number 8 Minnesota Duluth. Minnesota Duluth over Minnesota State. We'll be right back here in about 5 minutes. We'll talk about stats and check out the scores in the WCHA around the country. I'm Paul Allen with Johnny Sari.
Featuring live streaming of all 7 WCHA teams from opening night through the final face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back your Minnesota State Mavericks.
We're back here at the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center in Mankato, Minnesota. Number 8 Minnesota Duluth owning a 3-1 lead over the hosts from Minnesota State. Mavericks actually outshot the Bulldogs 11-7 there in the second period. We'll look to do the same here in the third period. Underway.
It's time for the Wells Fargo fan of the game. Each game the Maverick Street team keeps an eye out for the most spirited Maverick fan in the stand. Today, the Mavericks great team has chosen Roley as a Wells Fargo fan of the game. Congratulations, Roley, you are today.
They're going to redo the face-off here, and puck went out of play into the Minnesota State bench there. It's the Bulldogs right out of the chute as Bell throws it behind the Minnesota State net on the far side, looking for Anna Klein. Klein battling with a couple of Mavericks. Eventually, it's Cedarburg from Minnesota State who comes away with it. Along the wall, it's Gabby Hughes finding Klein. Klein behind the net. Ooh. Sydney Brott tried to go upstairs on Abby Levy and actually put the puck over top of the net into the corner and then back out into the neutral zone. Senior captain from North Oaks, Minnesota, throws it in, but it's Cedarburg, Minnesota State's captain, who comes away with it. Bell finds Hanley. Shot taken by Hanley, sticked aside by Levy. The Mavericks come out on the far side for Minnesota State. It's Elkers putting the puck on net, and Maddie Rooney forced to cover that up.
As the game ends, to be part of the special recognition given to the OFC 3 stars of the game.
Pretty excited there. In between periods, they ran a nice promo for Hockey Day Minnesota, which will take place in Mankato next year at Blakesley Stadium. I'm sure the Maverick women's team will play there. Of course, the opponents haven't been announced yet. In fact, the date hasn't been announced yet, Johnny, but traditionally it's end of January, beginning of February with that event, and look forward to some high school games and
for sure.
some college games as well at Blakesley Stadium next winter.
Yeah,
it'd be a great venue for hockey.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like overall, like I mean, this university is a big hockey school, so like with
there's going to be
no problem with attendance.
Yep. Milgren taken down behind the net by Riley Houston. Houston's going to get, I thought it was Houston, maybe not. Brooklyn Schugel tagged with the 2-minute minor for tripping. Minnesota State will go on its third power play. The Mavericks 0 for 2 so far with the man advantage. 1:37 here into the third period. Schugel. You know, Jeff Schugel, when he played for the Mavericks, his nickname was Shugi. You think they call Brooklyn Schugel Shugi? Probably, right?
No, I wouldn't.
That's a hockey. You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. I bet you they do. I'm going to ask. Minnesota State controlling this power play. There's Cedarburg with a shot blocked by Ashton Bell. Cedarburg still with the puck. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Akerbeck. Akerbeck that actually had the puck. She took that shot. Here's Cedarburg now. Cedarburg down low to Elkers. Elkers over to Britton Fleming. Fleming back to the point where Elkers has it. Elkers. Her shot goes off the leg and then eventually taken by Ashton Bell. And Bell, the junior from Deloraine, Manitoba, puts a shot on net that Levy's forced to stop and then cover up. Of course, as a team on the PK, it's always great when you can get an offensive zone face-off when you're trying to kill a penalty. At the very least, you're going to make, if Minnesota State wins this face-off, Minnesota State's going to get up 200 feet, but it's UMD now controlling play off the face-off. Retreating into her own zone all the way back there is Jalen Elms. She finds Brott on the far side, and Brott puts it over on the far wing for Gabby Hughes. Should be a hook right there. Wow.
No call?
No call on the play. Boy, our coach is not going to be happy in that play. Hughes on the back check dislodged the puck from the Minnesota State player and threw it to a teammate. The teammate scored. The referee is about as far away as he can be right now.
Yeah.
From the Minnesota State bench.
Yeah, I don't know.
Olsen goes over right now to talk about it, but
I'm trying to make her case.
UMD catches a break there, Johnny. I think 17:09 left here in the third period. Now they're up 4-1.
No. Shots even. Both teams had 21 for shots on goal.
Like, we like the Hughes family, but I think that should have been a penalty on Gabby. It turns out to be a goal instead for UMD. Sydney Brott took the feed from Gabby Hughes. and put the puck past Levy, and UMD now with a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, it's always tough when you're on the power play and you're the one who
Shorthanded goal, yeah, for sure. Well, that's a tough one.
Shorthanded at 2:51 of the third period, number 14, Sydney Broad. That's Broad unassisted, shorthanded.
Yeah, so far the score doesn't really reflect on like how this game has been. Like the Mavericks, ever since the halfway mark of the first period, like I would say that they've been dominating time of attack overall.
Yep.
But obviously with the score being 4-1, like if you're just tuning in, like you would assume that it would be the Bulldogs who've been dominating.
Score! Oh, scores! Yeah, that went in. Off the rebound. The Mavericks controlling play on the power play. Shot from the point. I think that was Tristan Truax that's got the goal. Rebound came out to Truax. The Mavericks respond from that tough shorthanded goal. Truax on the rebound ended up getting the goal for Minnesota State.
Yeah, Paul, that was their 8th goal of the season right there.
.25. Mavericks pull back within 2. 4-2 the score now in favor of UMD.
No, that's definitely what the Mavericks needed if they wanted a chance to get back into this, with 16:27 remaining in the third period.
Number 26, Tristan with the assist for number 9, Mackenzie Cedarberg, and number 19, Britton Fleming. That's Truax from Cedarberg.
So Cedarberg and Fleming draw assist on that. It was Cedarberg with the shot that rebounded right to Truax. 4-2 the score there with the power play. So Minnesota State 1 for 3 in terms of power play situations in the game. See if they can keep it up, gain some momentum, win in their sails now after that power play marker. Behind her own net is Levy right now. She throws it along the wall for Anthony. Anthony chips it out, can't get it out. Eventually it does bounce, however, into the neutral zone. Budarak looking on the far side for Kelsey King, can't find her. And the Bulldogs now controlling play in their own zone, but a little bit of disruptive play. Condis keeps it in along the right side. Down low for Anthony, just misses. Taylor Stewart for the Bulldogs find Taylor Anderson. Brooklyn Schugel throws it down now behind the Minnesota State net, where Condis had it for a second, but she lost it. Schugel over to Bell. Fleming for Minnesota State behind her own net, tries to throw it behind the net. Hughes doing the job on the forecheck for UMD, with Condis controlling the puck for the Mavericks. Touch with the high stick in the offensive zone. I think it's going to come out of the Maverick zone. It'll be a face-off. Yeah, just outside the Minnesota State blue line. 14:44 to go here in the third period. 4-2 the score, favoring Minnesota Duluth. Bulldogs control the face-off. Bell over on the far side for Flaherty. Flaherty. The puck goes into the Minnesota State zone, and on the forecheck for UMD, it's Klein. Shot taken from the side, bounces over on the far side to Bell. Bell shot towards the net, gobbled up by Cedarberg. Cedarberg looking for to find a teammate there. That was Fleming, got her stick on it. Now the Maverick here, Fleming, right in the slot area. Puck goes off a skate over to the far side right now for Minnesota State. That was Ulkers. She loses the puck. And here's Brodt, who scored that shorthanded goal for the Bulldogs a couple minutes ago. With the puck in the neutral zone, finds Bell. Bell over to Skinner. That was Hanley for UMD, but now for Minnesota State, it's Bobick. Bobick with the puck down in the corner, being shadowed there by Skinner. Eventually, that was England Back to Jackson, who shot the puck towards the net. Eventually, the Bulldogs get the puck out, thrown back in there by Akervik. Stopped by Rooney. Now it's UMD back the other way. Linzer in the neutral zone, across the blue line into the slot area. Puck goes off her stick and back the other way for Minnesota State. It's Budarak. Budarak on the off wing. Down into the UMD corner. Mavericks trying to get the puck on the forecheck eventually for UMD. It's Norton. Norton on the left side. Over here on the right. Finds Houston. Houston on the right wing. By the right dot now. She circles. Throws a puck down below the Maverick goal line. Taylor Anderson with the puck on the wing now. She cycles the puck down low. Looking for Schugel. Schugel. And Houston for Minnesota Duluth. Eventually the Mavericks get it out, and on the far wall, that's Budarak trying to find King, but it's UMD that comes away with the puck. All the way back behind her own net now. It was Norton for a second, and the Bulldogs now into the Minnesota State zone. Jeth Condis gets the puck into the neutral zone, but right back in for UMD, it's Hughes. Over to Brout. Bell with a shot, blocked by Minnesota State. Mavericks showing desperation here now as 11:49 left into the third period. The Mavericks trailing by 2. Fleming in the middle area. Tries to find, scores! Great goal, Brooke Bryant. Great setup by Fleming, finds Brooke Bryant. Bryant pulls the Mavericks within 1. Got ourselves a game here, Johnny.
Yep, sure do.
8:22 into the second period. The Mavericks have struck again. Brooke Bryant.
Yeah, I don't quite know how that happened, but it just seemed like the Mavericks are somewhere on a 3-on-1.
So Bryant pulls the Mavericks within 1.
For the Mavericks at 8:22 in the third.
4th goal of the year.
4th goal of the season, number 17, Brooke Bryant. With assist number 19, Britton Fleming and number 5, Hannah Wilgren. That's Bryant from Fleming and Wilgren at 8:22 in the third.
The Mavericks clawing their way back into this game. 4-3 the score now, 11 minutes to go. Here in the third period, UMD with the puck now. Good job by the Mavericks there with back pressure. Here comes Gardner. Out to Bobic. Bobic over to Iozo. She tries to find a teammate in the middle of the ice. Can't do it. Schugel takes control of the puck. Back to Elms. Over to Bell. Up to Anderson. Anderson on the right wall. Good job on the back check there as Riley Houston couldn't hold on to it. That was Claire Budarak on the back check. There's a shot attempt by Anderson, stopped by Levy. The puck squirts behind the net where Minnesota State takes control. Here's Akervik. Akervik now behind their own net. Over to Anthony in the neutral zone. Anthony trying to find Budarak, just misses clicking on that pass. UMD back the other way. Schugel over to Hughes. Over to Broat. Broat now drops it off for a defenseman. That's Flaherty, I think, down the left side. She goes steaming down the right side and fires a shot that is stopped and covered up by Levy for a face-off.
S&S Motors, Bank Motor Company, and Snell Motors.
Shots even at 23-23 now. Minnesota State has fought its way back into this game. The Mavericks trailing 2-0 after 1 period of play, and then 3-1 after 2 periods of play. Have scored twice here in the third period. UMD has one too, but the score is 4-3 right now in favor of Minnesota Duluth. UMD with the puck right down low now. Broat behind the net. Tries to pass it out front, but it goes off to the side. UMD still with the puck at the blue line. It's Skinner. Shot taken there by Elms. The blocker saved by Levy. Puck still in front of the Minnesota State net. Back to Elms.
Good job of Fleming right there to kind of get it away from the goal.
Yeah, UMD's had a couple goals like that where they've scored right in front.
Yep.
Nice deep by Hughes. Rebound. Scores. Hughes with the backhander. Well, Hughes had the initial shot. Saved by Levy. The puck came out. Shot was taken, I think, by Elms. That puck got stopped by Levy as well, but Hughes was there to grab the rebound and backhand it into the net. That's a tough one.
Yeah, sure is. Like now trailing 2 with 9:10 remaining in the third period.
So that goal for Hughes, her 18th of the year, puts UMD up 5-3 as Minnesota State had pulled within 1.
Scoring for the Bulldogs at 10:50 of the third period, number 17, Gabby Hughes. For the assist, number 7, Kaylee Skinner, and number 19, Anna Klein. That's Hughes from Skinner and Klein at 10:50 of the third.
A lot of scoring here now in the third period.
Yeah. So far it's been a very exciting period, I would say.
Yeah. We'll see how the Mavericks respond. Mavericks have proven they can play with anybody. Of course, coming off of that nice win, a 3-1 victory over the number 1 ranked Wisconsin Badgers last weekend has really boosted the Mavericks' confidence.
Yeah, like going back to like even the Friday game that they ended up losing, what 5-1, correct?
Yep.
Like Wisconsin got 3 goals in the first period, and then it seemed like from that point on, the Mavericks were like able to kind of just play with their level, and then that carried over to Saturday's game, getting the win 3-1.
Yep. Elms will shoot the puck. The senior defenseman from Brandon, Manitoba, 13 career goals. Fired a couple of bombs there from the blue line. Not afraid, not shy at all, will shoot the puck. The Bulldogs now. Here's Brodt. Down the right side. Tries to find Skinner, who had jumped up in there. I should say Hughes up in the center. Here's Minnesota State threatening again. Mavericks can't keep it in, however. Jordan Jackson across the blue line is going to be offside.
Anthony didn't make it back in time.
She couldn't make it out. Yep. 6:52 left on the clock. Mavericks trail by 2. Of course, as a coach, you start thinking about what would be the right time to pull your goaltender down by 2. If you're only down by 1, you can wait a little bit longer. You're down by 2. That's a little different story. So we'll have to keep our eye on Abby Levy here as the clock winds down. Puck comes out in the neutral zone, all the way back down is Jordan Jackson behind her own goal now. Jackson. Over to Buderak. And now eventually it's Akervik. Akervik over to Anthony. Anthony looks for Buderak in the middle. She does have the puck, and she backhands it towards the net, but Rooney throws it to a teammate where Bell comes back the other way. Bell now past the red line, past the blue line. The big defenseman fires a shot. Goes all the way down and almost end-to-end there. Ashton Bell, the junior from Deloraine, shot on goal, and Abby Levy forced to make a save as play draws to a close. 6:09 left. 27-24, the Bulldogs leading shots on goal. UMD on the scoreboard with 5 goals, Minnesota State with 3. Face-off goes behind the Minnesota State net. Wilgren finds some room back there, looking to Condis. Condis now on the breakout. Carries the puck, the Calgary, Alberta native, on the right side for Elkers. Elkers back to Fleming. Fleming behind the net, looking for Elkers. Elkers behind the net. Goes off a stick, but is Fleming there? Now the left-hand shooting senior veteran forward Back to the point now. Condas with the bump. Scores! It goes off a stick. Condas! Mavericks will not go away, Johnny.
Nope.
Will not go away.
Still managed to keep on.
That goal by Condas pulls the Mavericks within one. 14-25.
That was Condas' fourth goal this
Fourth goal of the year, fifth goal of her career. Minnesota State back within one. 5-4 the score now.
Yeah, Paul, there's been 5 goals scored this period. It's been overall a very exciting period, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. So behind the Minnesota State net now, it's Wilgren.
For the Mavericks at 14:25 of the third period, with their fourth goal of the season, number 2, Jessica Conley. With the assist from number 5, Anna Wilgren, and number 19, Britton Fleming. That's Conley from Wilgren and Fleming at 14:25.
Shot taken by Skinner. After that goal down here, Levy forced to make the stop. She controls the rebound, and face-off will be to her left. Harrington, the veteran coach, sends out Britton Fleming for this face-off. She wins it. It goes into the corner. Cedarburg looking for Ulkers on the side. Eventually, Cedarburg gets it back in her own zone. Over on the right side for Truax. Truax up the right side. Over to Elkers. Elkers down the left side into the zone. That's a smart play by Elkers there. Sophomore from Road. Forces an offensive zone faceoff. We'll take that at this point in the game. Down by a goal. 4:38 left in the clock. Bulldogs behind their own net now, trying to get it out. Eventually they do. Hewitt, sophomore from Edmonton, throws it into the Minnesota State zone. The Mavericks will try to regroup now. 4:22 left on the clock here in the third period. The Mavericks trailing by a goal. Elms with a shot. Blocked by Truax. Truax on the right side. Brooke Bryant, one of the Maverick goal scorers, in the corner. On the far side, looking for Budarak. Budarak can't get it, and the puck comes all the way back down to the Minnesota State zone. There'll be the icing call against UMD. New line out there for Minnesota State as Budarak comes out there with Anthony and Kelsey King. King also with a goal in this game for Minnesota State. Shot taken right there. Akervik caught by Rooney. She had a clear view of it, and it's going to be difficult to score from that far out. Akervik can shoot the puck, but from that far out, goaltender the caliber of Maggie Rooney is going to be able to probably stop that most of the time. We have ourselves a one-goal game here in Mankato. Minnesota State trailing 8th-ranked Minnesota Duluth by a goal. The Mavericks trying to knock off a ranked opponent. Minnesota State last time out, Minnesota State knocked off number 1 Wisconsin. Certainly capable of finding a way to beat the Bulldogs here. Of course, the Bulldogs are aware of that fact. And they're not going to go down easily. Minnesota State back into the offensive zone. That's King. Down by the goal line, but it's the Bulldogs who get control. And it's Flaherty now. That's going to be an icing call. Wow, that's a mistake by UMD there. Flaherty.
That quite didn't get over the red line right there.
Yep, unable to connect on that pass. And for UMD, unfortunately, it's going to be an icing call. Minnesota State will take that.
All right, 3 minutes left. I'm curious on when they plan on pulling Levy, if they're still down here. after how this.
That's going to be another icing call. Back-to-back icing calls. .248 left on the clock. The Mavericks trailing by a goal. 5-4 right now the score. Minnesota Duluth leading this game. Bulldogs owning 29-28 lead in terms of shots on goal as well. Well, the Mavericks going to have their third consecutive opposite zone face-off with Bell putting that puck out of play. In the NHL, Johnny, that's a 2-minute minor for delay of game.
Yep.
College hockey, not so much.
Oh.
Into the neutral zone with the puck. It's Brote. Well, it's going to be a tripping minor on Wilgren. She's just stuck her stick toward the puck, and Brote went down. That's a tough one this time in the game.
2:20 remaining, and gonna Bulldogs now be on a 2-minute power play.
Yep, certainly not on purpose, but the UMD Bulldogs will go on the power play nonetheless. It'd be a good time for a shorthanded goal. Mavericks do have a couple of shorthanded goals on the season. Budarak and Brooke Bryant were shorties for the Mavericks this year. Now would be a good time for them to do it again. UMD goes on the power play.
2 minutes for tripping. That's Wilgren for tripping at 17:40 in the third.
Shot taken by Linzer, blocked by Minnesota State. Elms controlling it back for UMD.
Good block by Cedarburg.
Yep, Cedarburg, a nice block there. Puck comes out of the Minnesota State zone, and Minnesota State able to get a couple of fresh players on the ice now, trying to kill off this penalty. Taylor Anderson back to Elmas. Elmas with the puck for the Bulldogs. As the Bulldogs look to change now as they get their second power play unit on. Controlling the puck is Bell. Bell in the neutral zone. Decides to take it across the blue line herself. Over on the far wing for Hughes. Back to the point where Flaherty finds Bell. Over to Hughes. Hughes unleashes a shot that goes wide. I think that was more of a pass, right, Johnny? She's looking for, I think, Anna Klein here on the right side. The old slap pass. Mavericks now with a minute to go in the game.
1 minute of the third period.
37 seconds left to go in the UMD power play. Mavericks running out of time here. There's Bell with the puck. Right face-off dot down below. Looking for Klein. Mavericks get it out. Coaching staff now. We'll have to make a decision on what they're going to do with Levy. 38 seconds to go in the game.
It looks like there's going to be like a 20-second gap right when
I'm not sure if there's enough time. You certainly want to pull your goaltender with your team shorthanded.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Good play. So they ice the puck. 14 seconds to go. Not enough time to get Levy off the ice, unfortunately, for Minnesota State. Man, time just runs out on the Mavericks in this one. Johnny, good effort by Minnesota State.
Yeah.
A couple of tough plays don't go our way. I'm sure we'll look back at that goal scored. The shorthanded marker by UMD is a tough one. The Mavericks had an opportunity here. They drop a 5-4 decision to the 8th ranked team in the country, Minnesota Duluth. The Mavericks, in terms of shots on goal, 29-28 in favor of the Bulldogs, but the Mavericks never gave up.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting with tomorrow's matchup. Like with it kind of starting out with it seemed like it was going to be a goaltender game, and then it kind of just turned into, especially the third period, a 5-4 game is obviously a very high scoring.
Yep. So the Mavericks trailed 2-0 after the first period. Found themselves down 3-1 after 2 periods of play, and then at the end of the game here, the final 20 minutes of action, it is a 5-4 win for Minnesota Duluth. Good effort for the Mavericks, and we'll have to do it again tomorrow with the Mavericks and the Bulldogs closing out this 2-game WCHA series here at the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center. We have a 3:07 start time tomorrow, Johnny, and we'll look forward to doing that game with you again too.
Yep, for sure.
All right, thanks very much. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Drive safe, everybody.